Hello and a very good day to you. You're welcome again to your darling program Youth Can on ITV, and I am your host Joy Igoche. Youth Can is that very interesting program created by ITV to bring together youth with creative entrepreneurial ideas that are geared towards the development of the society. And I believe by now you want to tell somebody to keep it glued to their screen, as today's program promises to be very, very interesting. Our topic of discourse today is the uprising of citizen journalism amongst youth. We are living in the 21st century where the youths are technologically driven and digitization, and as a result we've become active participants and consumers of social media. This has led to the uprising of citizen journalism amongst youth. When we talk about citizen journalism, we're talking about a scenario whereby anybody can just be a reporter, or anybody can tell stories or carry out reporting without the use of the mainstream media like television, radio, or the newspaper. Everybody tells story. You just see something going on, you just use your phone, you snap, and you can tell the stories via your social media handles. We have bloggers, we have vloggers doing the same reportage. So we want to know today, the issue becomes, what are the pros and what are the cons of this uprising of citizen journalism amongst youth? Keep it glued to your screen, don't go nowhere. We'll be going on a short break now, and when we return, we'll have a special guest to do justice to this topic. Stay tuned, don't go nowhere. Welcome back again, and of course, when the screen looks this good, you know what time it is. It's Youth Can on ITV. Like I promised, I said we'll be going on a break, and when we return, I'll have a special guest with me in the studio to do justice to this topic. And today, I have with me Miss Precious Onoha. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah, we are really happy to receive you today. Miss Precious is a blogger. She's also an engineer. You say youth out there are so creative, and we are very pleased to have her on board today.
Thank you.
So back to the topic of discourse, we've been looking at the uprising of citizen journalism amongst youth, because we are living in this internet-driven generation where everyone is a reporter. You know, you are free. We do a whole lot of stuff on social media. So we would like you to please elucidate the concept of citizen journalism.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me once again.
You're welcome.
So, talking about citizen journalism is basically conducted by people who are not professionals, right? So, anyone fits into this, as far as you didn't go to school to study journalism, right? You don't have a degree in journalism. And so, people do this with their social media handles. They use their blogs and websites. So basically that's what citizen journalism is. And then, you know, they spread news without even checking the authenticity of what they are publishing or what they are sending out to the public to read.
Okay, although I won't say all of them are, you know, tilting towards that line, because some are actually correct.
Sure.
Some are actually correct. But, you know, we still see, they say when you throw the net in the river, you won't just catch only fish. You'll catch other things too, along with the net. So thank you very much. I love your concept of citizen journalism. So why do you think there's a surge in citizen journalism these days?
Well, because, you know, the technology we have in this 21st century makes it so, because everyone is on social media. Everyone wants to you know, send a post, do something. We don't regulate people on social media. We don't regulate people who create blogs, who create websites. I mean, in your room, you can come up with a website. In less than 10-15 minutes, you've created a website or a blog. So because there is no regulation, and because people feel that they want to be heard, or people want to draw attention to themselves, that is why we see an uprising in this area.
Okay, thank you very much. What's your take on fake news? You know, there was a time, I think, was it last year, they were hearing so much rant about fake news, fake news, fake news, fake news. So what's your take on fake news? And do you think this has anything at all to do with the propagation of fake news?
Personally, I'm not a promoter of fake news, right? If you are a journalist and you're professional with what you're doing, you wouldn't want to spread any news that you have not made sure that, okay, this is
authentic,
right, yes, or this is authentic. So because it is just anyone that is free to, you know, post anything, they're not taking it as a business. Because you can't tell me that you have a media house and you're not making sure of the news that you are sending out. It's business to you, and the government can shut down the business if you infringe on those rights, right? So, but for individuals who have, you know, because of the environment that we live in, create posts, share posts, do anything, you know, something can be happening along just down the street, and then you see someone bring up a phone to do a video. It could even be that someone is dying and someone is doing a video. Sometimes I ask myself, instead of you to look for a way to rush that individual to the hospital, you're just after doing a video to spread. What's that? And the person is lying down there lifeless, trying to, you know, it doesn't make sense. So fake news, going back to your question, fake news is, it doesn't help people to make good decisions, because news generally is about letting the public
to be in the
to
know.
be aware
Yes.
of whatever it is that is happening per time. So I'm not a lover of fake news at all.
I love that. You know, when you talk about news, there are certain things that makes up the qualities of news.
Sure.
Your news must be accurate, it must be right, it must be factual, it must be objective.
Sure.
So anything that, you know, derails from this path is already a big problem to the society.
It is.
Because the society ends up becoming the consumers of all this information. And you know, social media, like everybody is on social media, everybody is going, you know, you just pick up your phone and voila, you're in another world, you're there, you're seeing things. Sometimes you may not even be in control of the content that comes your way.
Of course.
These days, because the internet is mad.
Anything can pop up on your screen.
Yes, you can see anything on your screen. So how do you think misinformation can be curtailed?
Well, you know, if there is no penalty for anything, anything goes. So if you know that if you engage in these acts, you're going to prison for it, even if it's 6 months or 1 year, you would be so cautious of that. So I think we have actually failed in that area in this country when it comes to regulations, you know, regulations not only in the media, in different sectors of the economy, and not just having those regulations on paper, enacting them, making sure that this is what it is. If I do this, I know the consequence even before doing the act. So I think we can tackle it from that line, making sure that there are regulations and also enforcement of those regulations. Very important.
That's the word. Because it's,
I know I'm an engineer, so yes, I know better.
Like, it's high time that we become pragmatic in doing things and not just the say, and there's no do part of it.
Exactly.
So, thank you very much for that. As a blogger, personally, how have you been coping, you know, with the avalanche ICT provides? It is very, very good and sweet. It's a very nice initiative, you know, to go into blogging. There's another one I had, is vlogging, you know,
yes.
And the like.
Video
so,
content.
yes, but definitely I know there will be some challenges. Talking about fake news, talking about this citizen journalism and all. So how do you cope? Because whether or not you like it, you are a citizen journalist. So, like, how do you cope? How do you go about fact checking your information, maybe even pictures and videos before you upload them on your blog? How has it been for you?
Okay, so I would like to acknowledge that it hasn't been a smooth ride, but of course that goes with any line of business or any line of endeavor that you would want to go into. Yes, but you knowing the reason why you are there in the first place, setting your perspectives right, that's what takes you the long haul. So why did I even go into blog in the first place? I write. I love writing.
Wow.
Yes, so I do creative writing a lot. And so at a point I had so many diaries, you know, write-ups, articles, poems. And I'm like, and nobody is reading all this.
They're just wasting.
You know, so a very good friend of mine who had already started her blog, you know, gave me some steps of how to set up a blog. And whoa, I had a blog. That was in 2013. And so I actually went into blogging because I wanted people to read all those pieces I had, right? So I'm not a regular news blogger, as you might term it. Yes.
Okay.
So what I do is I do creative write-ups and then I publish on my blog for people to read. Wow,
that's great. So, like, how has it been? What are the challenges you have?
So, some of the challenges, right? It's expected that if someone sets up a blog, at least 2 years, 3 years, 5 years down the line, you should be making some money, right? So, if you're the kind of blogger that you copy people's content, because there are bloggers like that,
yes.
You copy people's content and you paste just for the fun of it, or just for your blog to be
recognized or busy.
Busy, yes. That's the word. Just for your blog to be busy, you know, day in, day out, you're pushing out content. And I ask you, why are you in business? Why did you set it up in the first place? So that is why it's actually very, very important that you know why you are even going into it. You don't do it because people are doing it. You're not becoming a blogger because there are so many bloggers out there. No, you do what works for you. If you have passion for it, fine. And then if that is what you've chosen for yourself, that's your line of career that you've chosen for yourself, fine. And then you try to create a niche for yourself and then try to also attract the right people.
Okay, if I am right, I'll say one of the challenges you face as a blogger personally, maybe creativity, you know, or inspiration can be one of that, because like you said, you are a creative writer.
Yeah.
And you know, there's something called a writer's block. There's some point in time, maybe you're trying to write something and you meet a stampede and you're like, okay I'm going to calm down now.
Yeah.
And okay, I believe, you know, for someone who's creative or who tries to put creativity on the plate for people every time, that can be one of the challenges you're having. Okay, so let's drive home back to our topic of discuss today. Okay, so we've been talking about the uprising of citizen journalism amongst the youths. What are the pros and the cons of citizen journalism?
Let me take the advantages first.
Okay.
So basically, it's information for people on the go, right? They get to know what's happening on the go. They get to, okay, I have an instance, right? So there might be a road blockage and you're planning to go to that area, but maybe you see it on your WhatsApp, someone's WhatsApp status that this side is blocked or there is something bad happening.
Yes.
You know, that's an advantage. It will help you to divert or to take another turn, right? For safety. That's one of the advantages. And it helps you to be abreast of what is going on at a time. So those are advantages. But disadvantages, by the time you spread fake news or fake information, and then someone is already acting on that information that because you don't have a control over the number of people
that actually view your post.
Content. Yes. Exactly. So if someone takes, it's just like okay, it's just like someone telling a lady that, oh, I saw your husband somewhere with another lady. And then the woman is hurrying to the place, scattering everywhere.
Yes, you mislead people. It's very misleading.
It's fake news. Okay, well, so what if the lady is your husband's business partner, or maybe they're having a business meeting? So, as you rightly said, you could mislead people when it's fake news. So those are the disadvantages.
Okay. Yeah. So what are your advice to people who just stumble across all these bloody videos and grotesque images, and they just upload it on their various social media handles?
Well, that happens a lot. And, as I rightly said earlier, you don't know the number of people who view your content once you upload. Once you click that upload button, it's worldwide. Anyone can come across, even how many years later. And so talking about this also, we have teenagers,
yes,
right? Sometimes they come across some of these things and they don't even get back to their parents and say, Mom, Dad, I saw something like this. They might discuss it within their group, and that's actually topic for another day. So for people who do those kind of posts, I think it would be proper for them to at least put something like viewer's discretion. Let someone that wants to click on it know that, okay, there's something to this video before opening it, so that I'm conscious, right? I'm okay to take it, then I just open it and then boom. Trust me, if I get across such posts, such videos, immediately I'm shutting it up, I'm closing it up, because I don't even want to see it at all. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. And just before we wrap up this interview segment, can you please give your advice to that youth out there who is currently watching us? What is your advice regarding this uprising of citizen journalism? To that person, okay, I am somebody out there, I have passion for, telling stories and all, even if I'm not someone who studied
journalism,
or is educated in that area, but I want to be an active user of social media. I want to create content on social media. I want to pass information on social media. So that particular youth out there who is like this, what is your advice to that person today?
Okay, so I would say there's nothing wrong with passing across information or posting content for people to read, your viewers to read, but put yourself in the shoes of that person reading that same content that you're putting out. What kind of effect will that content leave? What kind of impression will that content leave on that person, right? Sometimes we know that our eyes, ears, mouth, are gateways to the human body. There is something you can read and it will last a lifetime, or it will last as long as before you're able to erase it from your mind. So always be conscious of what you're posting. Try to be responsible, because some years later, even if it's brought up, is it something you would want to own up to? Yes, I was the one that posted this. So I think that will help us, as individuals and as youths in the country.
Well, thank you very, very much, Miss Precious.
Thank you.
We really appreciate your contribution to this topic of discourse for today. And this is where we draw it a close on the interview segment on your darling program. Stay with us, don't go nowhere. While the importance of moving with the trend in terms of digitization and maximizing social media to the positive things cannot be undermined, especially in this digital era, it is very, very crucial to bring out the function of gatekeeping of the media and social responsibility to the fore. because it is very, very important to talk about this gatekeeping function. You know, when you want to upload a video, when you know this video is gruesome or grotesque, it is very, very important for you as an individual to be socially responsible, because a lot of people are on social media. You don't know the condition they are in. Some are even underaged, and you see them coming across this kind of content on social media, and you, on your own part, in trying to do your reportage or pass information, you just post it like that, and people are exposed to all these kind of things. So when you want to be professional about doing your reportage, make sure you do things like putting maybe viewer discretion, or you tell, okay, this video contains certain elements that may be offensive to particular age group or health conditions, and that will go a long way in helping out. Gatekeeping is also important because it helps you to check, recheck, and fact check information before you upload it on social media. With this, we're calling it a wrap on today's episode of the program Youth Can on Independent Television. Do well to follow us on our social media platforms, and also subscribe on our YouTube. Like your darling program Youth Can, and do well to view our previous episodes. Leave your comments, leave your like and shares there. We love you. Thanks for staying tuned to this program. I have been your host, Joy Igoche.